What if we reimagine the afterlife? What if instead of thinking about the afterlife as some other plane of existence where our consciousness or our soul goes when we die, we took it out of the realm of the supernatural and brought it back down to earth? What if we reconceptualize the afterlife not as some sort of spiritual secondary location like heaven or hell, but as life here on earth after we die? Imagine if the afterlife was simply life here on earth after we die. After life. It was the writer and former pastor Rob Bell who first got me thinking about this with his book, Love Wins. He points out that how we think about heaven or the afterlife has a direct impact on our behavior here on earth. If heaven is someplace else far away, he says, there really isn't a whole lot of motivation to take care of this planet, to prevent suffering, to preserve our ecosystem, to make life more livable for our children and grandchildren. The Christian understanding of heaven is that it is a real place where only God's will is done. Jesus was part of a long tradition of prophets who anticipated a day when heaven and earth would be one, unified into the same place by human actions. These prophecies refer to aion, a Greek word, the world to come, a new age, a new era in the future that would bring peace on earth. These prophets envisioned a day when the actions of humanity would bring heaven to earth. With this understanding fresh in our minds, we can reconceive eternal life not as our own personal one-way ticket off this godforsaken rock to some astral plane of awesomeness, but as life everlasting here on earth. The everlasting life on earth that goes on for millions and billions of years after our own individual deaths. If we were to reimagine the afterlife in this way, as earth after we die, the question becomes, what are we doing to prepare for the afterlife? What are we doing to help the generations who come after we leave? I think bringing heaven to earth should mean that we are taking steps to improve life here for the people and plants and animals who come after us. Earth's afterlife. Can we give those who follow us lives with less anxiety, less complication, fewer difficulties? Yes. If you could leave a better world to our children and grandchildren, what would you do to make it better for them? What are you willing to sacrifice to make it happen? I can envision an afterlife where major American companies no longer make huge profits anytime one of us gets sick or breaks an arm or gets in a car accident or is born with an expensive disability. Why should we bequeath a for-profit healthcare system to the people we love most? Universal healthcare is not an impossible dream. I can envision an afterlife where corporations and the rich did not get to choose all of our government representatives or pack our court system with pro-business zealots. Do you really want to bequeath that system in our last will and testament to our children and grandchildren? I sure don't. I can envision an afterlife where authoritarianism in the workplace is no longer the norm. Imagine an economic system where workers have democratic control over business profits. I think it would make for a very different afterlife. There are lots of changes we could make now that would make our afterlife better. Because just as it's possible to imagine bringing heaven to earth in this way, you can also see how humans could bring hell to earth. Hell on earth. War, famine, plague, death, the old horsemen of the apocalypse. Rob Bell chimes in with poverty, torture, agony, destruction, betrayal. I'll add genocide. In this moment, it seems we're a lot further down the path to creating a dystopian hell on earth. But it doesn't have to be that way. We are not powerless. We do not have to accept this. You don't have to be religious for this conception of the afterlife to have meaning for you. A secular understanding of the afterlife is empowering. Imagine the ability to shape what the afterlife looks like. It's yours. Take your mortal soul out of the equation for a moment. Start thinking about what we can do now to bring about a better life everlasting for the people who live here after we're gone. I believe it was Belinda Carlisle who said it best. We'll make heaven a place on earth. Let's make them pay.